I had already promised somebody I'd do a video on Suboxone, um, and that'll be done today. Promised I'd get done yesterday. Everything kind of went haywire, and I didn't get back here. So um, I'm gonna make this one, and then I'm gonna do the Suboxone one. This one has to do with people kind of manipulating words to use pretty much two words that mean this exact same thing to mean two totally different things, and you divide it and basically use it as newspeak. What am I talking about? Well, there's cults and then there's religions. And what do cults always do? They always say, we're spiritual, we're not religious. Religion is evil, we're spiritual. There's never been a divide between these two words in the English language until recently. The idea that you're not a materialist, the idea that you believe in something else, something supernatural, instantly become it's a religious belief that you hold. And when people start saying spirituality, it's like as if there's some type of science in it, as if we can prove this about no. That's the beautiful thing about religion, is that it has always been, there's the sacred and the profane, and the profane is the world, and the sacred is basically the holy mysteries. And you shouldn't intermingle the two. Now, two were intermingled. There's been some stepping on of toes over the years, especially at the beginning when people thought, okay, the gods brought the rain, so there was a god up there that caused the rain to fall. And this started to clear up a little bit with monotheism. Of wait, no, God did everything, and everything is just a consequence of that. Cosmology, really. But these cults, and specifically, you see this Jehovah's Witnesses. The Scientologists speak around it a lot, and the NAA type cult. Now, NAA can be used for people's benefits. I understand that, but in there you'll see them really pressuring you to be more spiritual and this and that, and to go to their meetings, and to, that giving money is part of giving back, and meeting every day, and doing the steps and this and that. The steps, I mean, they're part of it's like a confessional. Part of it is saying you'll do anything to get sober. To kill a puppy? I mean, people, oh, you're taking it to. No, when you say anything, when you use these always, never things, you have to include. You mean jump off a bridge? I mean, you can't. But no, they like the power of the language, but they don't like the consequences that it would bring. And they're one group that says, oh, but we're not religious, we're just spiritual. And we have this constructed model that we go by, and that it's used everywhere. And to stray from that, it really isn't. I mean, instantly they make dogma. They don't think the 12 steps are a dogma? Really? Can we have A meetings, and it can be there A that's connected to every other A, where we totally throw out the 12 steps, or is that something integral to it? Oh, it is? Well, you just made dogma. I mean, it is a religion. No, we're not really. We're just spiritual. But every trapping of religion you absolutely have. Not only just like you know an anthropological view of religion, such as communism or environmentalism or a political movement, but you actually have all the spiritual words, God, everything, and you have the format, basically kind of like your Four Noble Truths or your Eightfold Path. or your confession of faith kind of thing. Or, when I mean faith, I mean just this belief that's not really substantiated by science at all. And it's not. I mean, it's quasi. And I think this is one of the tricks of the cults. Oh, everything else is just an illusion. This is we're the only way, and anybody else, everyone else can make you stray. You got to the group first, the group first, the group first. Which for me, in Orthodoxy, that's never been. If anything else, it's your family, this and that. It doesn't it's making you a better you. Does Orthodoxy necessarily do that? No. It's an outlet um, for natural needs. It's not making me a better me. Hey, no, it doesn't. It's not. There's a lot of jackasses in there, and there's total nationalists who are jerks. Um, but it just surprises me that people say, "Oh, we're spiritual, not religious." That is the ring to it of a cult, because anytime you use those words before, I don't know, maybe the division goes back as far as maybe the early 80s or possibly the 60s, where people, and I'm not talking about one person kind of making a divide. I'm talking about this general idea that you could be spiritual without being religious, or you could be religious without being. I mean, the idea that, oh, they're religious but they're not spiritual. Well, what are you really saying about that person? What, that they have no love, that they have no. I mean, it's you start to say more than you're saying by saying less than you're saying really. Well, they're religious but they're not spiritual. And then all the offensive things can just be applied. You just have to say that. Oh, they're you know oh, they may meditate and pray all day, but they're not real. They're just religious. They're not spiritual. I mean, is it? And they get this comfy, cozy talk. Okay, well, that's this and that. You can never be angry. You always have to speak softly. And how is this going? This. And, oh, but you're too connected. You're not attached enough. Blah, blah. I mean, it's dividing this life, dividing life between this and that. And when you had the sacred and the profane, at least you had, okay, these are two things that aren't going to clash. But now you have, well, no, now there's the real, and then there's everything else. Because keep in mind, when everything back in the day, when everything was sacred or profane, you had two worlds that you absolutely walked in every day. They were just two different things. Now one was good and one was evil, because definitely I don't think the material universe was evil or ever evil. Um, but when you have this new, oh, we're spiritual, now you're dividing. Now it's you or your group against, boom, everything else can be a distraction. Like Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, don't talk to any other person who has a different idea, because it might be Satan tempting you away. Instead of meeting it at at an intellectual level or at emotion, just in dealing with it. Oh no, got to escape. And that's all it is. It's just regressing into the group, and while doing that, expelling some people out, like witch hunts, which we know Jehovah's Witnesses does this all the time. It's a massive type of confessional thing that it just drags on. And when you have this quasi psychotherapy thing with it's group going, constantly telling everybody, and there's this constant dynamic of oh, I'm fallen. I mean, it really basically, it seems like they took the idea of original sin and dropped everything else in Christianity. It took that and said, oh, but it's really drinking. But then you'll see some people. I know people who bring their kids there. The kids have never had a drink, and they're acting as if they're, oh, well, I've been brought here since I was a kid, and so alcohol has affected my life in this way. Except they've never drank. It's their parents who were the drunks. I mean, it's really strange, and maybe somebody watching this video who's not really had experience with groups like this, they might think, oh, but I kind of like the idea of, there's religion and then there's spirituality. Well, do you see how that can become horribly elitist? How you could say, oh, but that little dark Mexican woman, she prays to Mary. That's just religion. She's stupid. She doesn't know. But that guy, Wayne Dyer or whatever, he's talks soft and he's, you know, this old white guy who just talks philosophically and this and that. That's how you get around your day, is being a soft sob, not actually trying to worship a god. That's just religious. That's not spirit. I mean, you see how ridiculous you get to it. You start to deny everything spiritual once you start using that word and start saying, well, only the things that I really think and I can blah 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 blah. You really get caught in your own trap, and then you become the judge of whatever's right. Any religion you don't agree with becomes, oh, it's not. They're a religion. They're not spiritual. When the two words, it meant the same thing for hundreds of years, and all of a sudden you get these people who want to make a backhanded remark, but that would make them look more worldly. So they say, oh, they find a way to reuse words to just part of this newspeak, which is indicative of cults. You see, in turbulent Scientology, every cult changes words or invents words to suit their purpose. But this is just something I think people would encounter if they go to NA or A. That's why I don't particularly like them. And just something I've noticed watching things on cults recently. This is a big part of it. All right, peace. The new Suboxone video will be coming soon. And all you guys that watch my cartoons, that's just me fucking around on there. Okay, it's not crazy. All right, bye. I had already promised somebody I'd do a video on Suboxone, and that'll be done today. Promised I'd get it done yesterday. Everything kind of went haywire, and I didn't get back here. So I'm going to make this one, and then I'm going to do the Suboxone. The beautiful thing about religion is that it has always been, there's the sacred and the profane. And the profane is the world, and the sacred is basically the holy mysteries. And you shouldn't intermingle the two. Now, two were intermingled. The idea that you're not a materialist. The idea that you believe in something else, something supernatural, instantly it's a religious belief that you hold. And when people start saying spirituality, it's like as if there's some type of science in it, as if we can prove this about. No, that's this one has to do with people kind of manipulating words to use pretty much two words that mean this exact same thing to mean two totally different things, and you divide it and basically use it as newspeak. What am I talking about? Well, there's cults and then there's religions. And what do cults always do? They always say, we're spiritual, we're not religious. Religion is evil, we're spiritual. There's never been a divide between these two words in the English language until recently.